Yo, holla at your boy, T.
Who, you?
Are we live?
No.
Okay.
No. I like your rehearsal, though. I like it. Yeah,
Making
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Welcome to the first episode of GPR. So get your popcorn ready. You see it. Holla at your boy. Me and T.O. in the building.
That's right. Get your popcorn ready with your boy T.O. and Hatch. Subscribe to Himalaya apps wherever you get your podcast.
Your boy Hatchy Hatch is in the building with my man T.O. What's up, baby?
What it do? What it do? Here I am.
Here I am. Hey, here we go, baby. Let's
Get your
this
popcorn ready, man,
thing.
with
Get it
T.O. and
poppin',
Hatch.
baby. Yes, sir. So what's first things we're gonna talk about, right? We got a what's poppin' segment. We got a social status segment later on the show. I think everything that's on everybody's mind right now. I think we're gonna start it out with
What's hot and what's not?
Yeah, well, I'm hot. You're not. We can start it out with something else though. Let's talk about that. The 100, the top 100.
You owe me 100?
You 100
You owe me
push-ups. You can get 100 push-ups, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh?
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
But no, I know that was a big thing this last couple weeks, talking about NFL Network came out with this top 100 because it's the 100th anniversary of the NFL, right? So, of course, on the list, they gave us the top 10 of their idea who they thought were the top 10 receivers of all time. Read them out. Steve Largent, Marvin Harrison, Elroy, Crazy Legs Hirsch, Lance Allworth, Randy Moss, Larry Fitzgerald, Jerry Rice, Raymond Berry, Don Hudson, Paul Warfield. And I know I'm not on there, which, I don't feel bad, I should be on there. But I know you really think you should be on there.
First of all, I mean, when you talk about, as it relates to the category of receivers, guys that have made an impact on the game, I think that's where I feel like I belong, because I feel like I made an impact on the game. And so to kind of, I guess, dispute what Judy Batista said, that I played in a pass-happy era.
Which has
in
what
which
to do with?
Randy played in the same era
Well,
that I...
Larry Fitzgerald played in the same era.
Right.
Jerry Rice's offense was very pass-heavy as well, as we know. Marvin Harrison definitely played in the same era as well.
Right. So when you think about, I guess, whatever the criteria was, for them, I guess, nominating and inducting these guys to be the top 10 for the receiver position, I think anything, let's not even think about maybe not taking anybody off. But
right. Like if you
just to start it out with, I'm top 3, 4, whatever in every category.
Right.
So how do you not start with the top 3? You already have Jerry and you have
Moss.
Randy.
Right.
So
you're saying
outside of that, then why wouldn't it be you start with us 3 and then you nominate your next 7 after that?
Right. So do you think that it has something to do with the Hall of Fame portion of this? I mean, because there's 26.
I couldn't wrap my brain around it once I saw it, because initially, I think a day or two before the actual list was announced, I started getting a lot of tweets, this and that and the other. So everybody was excited about the possibility of me being a part of the 100 greatest athletes, obviously, to play the game.
Right.
And so I do a radio show on 95.7 The Game every Tuesday out of San Francisco, and they asked me about it too. And so I was like, look, nothing surprises me. I said, you guys know how the Hall of Fame situation went.
Right.
And so we fast forward to where we are now.
Right.
Same thing happened.
Right.
They excluded me, really denying really my greatness. And
Right.
I'm going to pat myself on the back because I did some great things considering where I came from, how I got there. We both had, similar paths going to small schools. And then, bro, I defied a lot of odds considering I never thought I would play beyond the collegiate level. And then I played with one of the greatest receivers of all time.
Right.
And then typically, if you think about it, if you're playing with one of the greatest receivers of all time, that doesn't mean if you're following in their footsteps that you're going to actually be great.
No, not at all.
That you're going to basically ideally duplicate or do some of the same things.
Right.
It's almost like, okay, you're a great complementary player,
right.
but you don't really fare out as well.
No, you're not going to do what the Hall of Famers are doing.
Right.
Absolutely.
But the fact that I was able to do some of that and then, again, get disrespected even with the nomination of being inducted the first ballot with the Hall of Fame, I had to wrap my mind like, what is going on? How did I not make it? Then I started to think, so I did a little investigating.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, well, I heard about there's a panelist. There was like 26 voters. So I'm like, well, who is this? Who are these voters? And so I'm on Twitter, and then I saw something on NFL Network, and then I saw Rich Eisen tweet about, because they were having a discussion about it, and then I saw him tweet the whole blue panel of
the 26 voters.
Yeah.
Right.
Looked at the link, and of the first 3 names that I saw was Joe Horrigan.
And Joe has not been on your side since
why Joe Horrigan?
The
Joe
Hall of
Horrigan
Fame
is executive at the Pro
Fame.
Football Hall of Fame.
Right.
There in Canton. There again, there's a common denominator. He was the one that was upset that I, along with obviously a number of the Hall of Fame committee, that I didn't show up. Right before, the week before before the actual ceremony, which was August 4th, 2018, there was some discussion internally between my team and their team, which consisted of David Baker and I think Michelle. She does something with the Hall of Fame. And so we were in direct contact every other day or whatever, every week leading up to kind of figure out, okay, let's make this as seamless as possible. We don't want to disrespect anybody. We want to be professional about it. And so we had these calls, and David said, look, if anything happens on our end, before anything goes to press or whatever, we're going to talk to you guys about it just to make you guys aware of what's going on. And we said the same thing from our team. So a week before the ceremony, out of the blue, it's announced that they're not going to acknowledge me for the Hall of Fame ceremony.
Right, because you had decided not to show. So they're going to get you back and say, we're going to be petty as well.
So now we're at this juncture to nominate and announce the top 100 greatest athletes that have played.
This is another chance to give another jab at you and get back.
Right, but this is another time. I mean, yeah, it's a jab, but this is an opportunity to make it right. Right. To really acknowledge, what I've done for the game, not your personal feelings toward me and what happened with that. So it's like Nick Wright was telling me, now you're going petty for petty, if that's the case. So once I saw his name, it made sense. Right. My feelings just went out the window. Right. So now I know it's something more than what it is.
Have you ever talked to that guy face to face?
No, I'll see him at some point. But again, like I said, for even David Baker to continue when he sees me to extend an invite, we would love you.
So David Baker always extends an invite.
Yeah.
Now.
I mean, he's been very gracious.
So if the Joe guy wanted to have a conversation with you, what would be the first thing you would ask him?
I don't know. I haven't gotten there yet.
Right.
I haven't gotten there yet. I mean, like I said,
you want to put hands on him. That's what you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
you're not going to.
Maybe that's a requirement to get on the list, because if you see on some of the list, some of these guys have some criminal records.
Facts. Yeah.
So maybe that's a requirement. Maybe I've been too nice.
Too nice. Yeah. You're a nice guy.
Like I said, that was part of the criteria. Of why I didn't make the Hall of Fame, because I had all these off the field issues and problems, which I have none. Right. But I can name a number of other guys that even in our class and other positions that have off the field run-ins with the law, things of that nature, that would obviously tarnish
the image of the Hall, basically.
So again, this is another opportunity for him to take a jab at me, and like I said, the list is not it questions the integrity of and the credibility of who he is and what he stands for, especially as it relates to the 100 years of the National Football League.
I mean, if you think about it, it's like, is the list really real? Because right now, if me and you made a list of the top 50 baseball players,
but it's not our list. But the thing, I'm thinking beyond this. I'm thinking like, dude, okay, the next 100 years and we're dead and gone. Like when somebody looks at that list, they're not going to think about,
why isn't he on it?
Right. They're not going to think. They're not going to go Google and research. Okay, who was snubbed? They're gonna really pay attention to who's on that list, not more so who's not. So for me, I feel like it's disrespectful, not only for me as a person and what I've done for the game itself, but even the league itself. So it basically kind of questions the integrity of the people that they put in position to endorse what they're trying to make glamorous, being that this is the 100th season. Right. And you want to really, appoint these guys that I think reflect
what the NFL is about.
The product in which they're putting out on the football field. And I think I represent that. So regardless of what they think, yeah, it stings a bit because it's one thing that I've always felt like I've had to overcome. Like when I was younger, when I was in high school, I knew I wasn't that great. I wasn't that good.
Mm-hmm.
So that pushed me, that motivated me to be great, to be good or be great. Same thing in college. I knew I wasn't the greatest receiver being recruited or whatever, but I saw guys were better than was, so that pushed me.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to always be recognized for what I did.
Right.
And so, like I said, now to be at the highest level and play at the highest level and play with some of the greatest athletes and compete,
mm-hmm.
and my peers recognize that, and even the fans recognize that, then why aren't the people that are put in position to really uphold the integrity of the game, why aren't they doing right by me? So that's where it stings, because like I said, now it's like it's jealousy, maybe it's a racist thing. I don't know.
It's a personal issue
it's
more than
personal. I would say more personal than maybe racist, but I don't know. Like I said, but he's white, I'm black, so that's why I feel like there's a tie.
Is he?
Am I racist? Absolutely not. But who knows what the reason is?
How bad do you want to know the reason? How bad do you really want to know? I would like to know. I would love to sit on the panel.
Yeah, I would want to know.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, because I would really want to know, why am I not on this list?
Could you handle it? If you sat there with that panel?
Because bro, they're gonna have to come with some hardcore facts, because I'm gonna come right back out.
I would like to just sit there, be like a fly on the wall, or just sit at the table.
Because like I said, if it's got anything to do with my character, I'm gonna bring up a number of other guys to dispute that.
Right.
So then I'm gonna just start checking boxes as to really what the reason is.
Yeah.
Because it can't be, like I said, if you start talking about off the field issues, I'm like, what
it can't be off the field issues, it can't be numbers.
Because it can't, what else is it? What else is it? Because like I said, I'm going to bring up other guys' name, and that's not me throwing anybody else, that's just me to state my case.
If there was one person or two that you would have to replace on this list, who would you replace?
First, before I have to say I have to replace anybody, first of all, there shouldn't even have to be a situation where I have to replace.
Okay.
I should be,
hypothetically speaking.
First of all, Elroy, I don't know, Hirsch. Like, bro, my stats double his.
Okay, but it's not about the stats. Let's just say it's not about the stats.
Well, why is it? So why are these guys on there if it's not about the stats?
Because it says he was one of the best route runners ever.
What? There's better route runners
now.
Right.
You know, hey, I am agreeing with you. I'm just trying to say.
What?
Okay, so Crazy Legs Hirsch used to run around folks. What about, Lance Allworth was pretty good.
Let's say, I don't know anything about Lance Allworth.
Don Hudson had some great hands. Paul Warfield, Rice, Steve Largent, Marvin Harrison, Moss, Larry Fitzgerald. We won't even talk about Moss and Jerry and Larry, because those are... We know they'd be on everybody's list.
Yeah, so they're like shoe-ins. They're for sure.
They're on everybody's list.
Right. They're like sure-handed.
Right. But everybody else, you're saying...
Right, it's a toss-up. What, you trying to say that these guys are better than me? All you got to do is roll the tape.
Check the tape. You know what's funny? So I don't know if I sent it to you or not.
Because almost like the eye in the sky don't lie.
Yeah, I was looking at, if you look at video, if you look at plays being made, right?
Right.
What's your criteria of judging a good receiver? Like, give me your criteria, right? Is it fast? Is it big? Is it great hands, big catch? Whatever.
No, I think it's a combination of everything. Production, obviously route, playmaking ability.
I think the playmaking ability is probably underrated because people don't see it. So this is what they see when they see you, right? If you cut a one step, right? You know, the stop route, one step hitch, and you take it 60, how many times have you seen that in the NFL in the last 2 years? Maybe once or twice.
Right, not a lot. But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
For that stuff to happen, I don't think people understand that doesn't happen. It does. That's like seeing a dude do dunk a basketball and do a 720 and not a 360.
Right.
It's like you'd be blown away.
Right.
Just like when somebody catches a 1 yard hitch and takes it 60 and outruns everything. Like I said, saw you do it, saw Moss do it.
I'll just say take your bottom five. The top five, we can put whomever in there.
Yeah.
So you take your bottom five and then you
let
compare.
them figure it out.
Right, and you compare my stats to whomever those top five are.
Because my whole thing is like, okay, what if they're saying it's not about the stats?
What is it about then?
To me, it would have.
I want to understand.
It's about the playmaking ability. I've never seen any of these guys catch a one-step hitch and make 6 and 7 people miss, and then stiff arm or outrun the last dude to the end zone for 70 yards.
Right, but that's why I know
I've seen a lot of these guys film, not in a disrespectful way, but I
No.
haven't seen them dominate if they got single coverage.
Right. So I want to understand the logic behind inserting them and not inserting me on that list.
Yeah, I just
Like
think
they
they're
gonna
lucky,
have,
buddy.
like they would
Sorry,
have to
man.
have a strong case to
Okay.
prove, but I already know that's not going to happen.
Okay, what if they sat there and they said, you know what, T? I just don't like you.
Well, it doesn't lend any credibility to the list.
What would
Like
you
it should be null and void.
But they was like, okay.
So it's
my
not
list.
factual to put something out there to the masses, you know, as these are the greatest that have ever played the game in their mind,
Because
to
of
represent
the status that they have as a writer, and
and to represent the 100th. See, that's supposed to be special. Like you're talking about some of the greatest to ever play the game.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think about it, there was more hoopla about the fact that I didn't make it. No, there are others, but the fact that I didn't make it, like of all the other positions, mine made headline news. Why is that? So there has to be a reason. I have no idea what it is, but it basically kind of validates who I am and what I've done.
Did anybody from that panel ever answer that question on why you didn't make it?
No, I think Judy tried her best
That was
to.
the one.
Yeah, because they always when they had the actual list completed, they had a reaction to that
that's what I'm saying.
specific position. And so Dion and Steve Largent and Chris Rose, I think they were the ones that, Chris Rose hosting the reaction to that. And so they had a voter, one of the 26 panelists, which was Judy Batista. And so Dion asked the question, like, well, why wasn't he on there? So she responded by saying, well, who do you take off? And he was like, wait, what? It's not about who do you not taking anybody off. Why is he not on the list?
And what she
said. Her response was something around, along the lines of, well, Elroy Hirsch played in a run-happy era, and I played in a pass-happy era.
Okay, that's a bad reason.
Again, she was basically kind of skirting around, and she was trying to find an answer to justify, but other than that, it makes no sense because I played in the same era that Randy played in and Marvin played in, and even Fitz. So it made no sense.
Right. So that was her only answer to the whole.
Yeah, she really didn't give a definitive answer. And she couldn't give anything because, like I said, she didn't have anything to support what she was really trying to say because it just doesn't make any sense, like Dion was saying. And then after that, Steve Largent said, well, we all know what it is. And Dion was like, what is it? So he goes, oh, it was just the off-the-field problem.
What problem?
That makes no sense either.
Yeah, what problem?
So now, where I thought, okay, he was like, oh, well, he should be on the list. Now I'm looking at Steve Largent sideways because he's fell in the same trap as everybody else over the number of years that I played, where the media has portrayed me to be a certain way
off the field,
or question my character or be a certain way in the locker room. But he said his thing was off the field.
Right.
What off-the-field problems were there?
Maybe they didn't like when you did sit-ups in the driveway.
But again, like I said, maybe I was ahead of my time because everything that, I'm just being honest, because everything that I was being vilified and criticized for,
they celebrate
it's now being embraced.
Yeah.
So just for that statement alone, I should be in the top.
Just for you changing that.
Yeah, just for changing the game.
Not from celebration.
Yeah, just from my play and just from a social standpoint.
Out of 153 touchdowns, how many times did you celebrate? Like 153?
Ooh, I think I probably celebrated. In some way, shape, form, or fashion. Yeah, they didn't. Yeah.
I had about 100 ready, but I never got to use 99 of them. But I was ready.
I don't think you used 10 of them.
No, I didn't have 10 touchdowns. I should have.
How many years did you play?
I played 8. But I played with 2
Is it safe to say you had a touchdown for every year that you played? Or is that a far stretch?
A little bit less. More like 0.8.
Oh, damn.
But I was nice, though.
That was terrible.
Nice.
That's terrible.
It's not terrible.
That is terrible.
That's not terrible. I was playing with 2 Hall of Famers. I was playing with 2 Hall of Famers. You were playing with 1. You remember how hard it was for you to get the ball early in your career?
No, it wasn't really.
Yes, it was. You didn't have 100 catches as a rookie.
No, I just went with what was given to me.
There was nothing given to me. I had Hall of Famers everywhere I went.
Well, you had to present yourself for the ball to be given to you. So it was something either from your rookie year training camp
that
they didn't see that they needed to get you involved.
Because you have two Hall of Famers. Why would they get you involved? You don't see.
But if you're a playmaker, then they got to
still not going to get you involved.
So you're trying to say that's why those coaches got fired because they didn't involve you in the game plan?
Do you think Kuzma can play?
Who?
Kuzma.
Kyle Kuzma?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right? But he's not getting the ball because you have LeBron.
That's because LeBron has been
because you have two Hall of Famers. He's not getting the rock. He can't average 25.
But let me tell you something. That's why they're not going to win a championship. Because
that's why we didn't win a championship because they didn't give the ball.
Oh, God.
That makes sense?
You're not even equivalent to Kyle Kuzma, even where Kyle Kuzma is right now. So that's not even a fair statement.
That's bad.
Yeah, exactly. You're just digging yourself in a hole, bro.
Well, he's coming off the bench now. So same.
That's a problem, too.
I agree.
That's poor coaching. So you're trying to say KCP is better than Kuzma? Let me tell you what's going to happen.
Fits the system.
Let me tell you what's going to happen with basketball. And I know we're skirting around.
We don't want.
We're skirting around, but LeBron, like I said, as smart as he is, it would be advantageous for him right now to get Kuzma involved early on in the season because it's just not going. It's not going to turn on in the playoffs.
You want to get him hot.
And so again, when you talk about the greatest of MJ, Kobe, and guys like Shaq, guys that made their teammates better. Yeah, he's doing it. He's done it. LeBron has done. Speaking of LeBron, but he can't. He's doing it with AD. Yeah, he's getting basically he's trying to put AD in for the MVP race.
Okay, well
that's what he's doing.
Let me ask.
But he's going to hinder his team down the long stretch because Kuzma is coming off the bench and he's not playing efficient as he did like toward the end of last year before those guys got traded.
Okay.
So you can't tell me just from an eyeball standpoint of what Kuzma did like last year when those toward the end and then the guys got traded, he balled out and now he's like a shell of himself. Right. That's why he's going in. He scored 15 on a clip because he knows he's not getting the ball anymore. Absolutely. So as soon as that ball touched his damn hand, it's going off like popcorn.
Well, let me relay it back to you though, right? As much as you wanted the ball, right? Big game, Monday night, whatever, you come out. Are you telling your offensive coordinator, get the other guy involved? Or are you still like, yo, the offense still goes through me. I want to get hot early, so get me the ball early. Or do you give your teammate the ball early?
That's what happened in Dallas. I understood my role as a number one receiver and understood the importance of my role, how like the offense went through me.
Right.
But
still predicated on everybody.
But the offense could be more special utilizing my gifts. Like I was taking double team. Like, bro, I was running, like I knew I wasn't getting the ball.
Right.
But I would take the top off, hauling ass like I was getting. So that's going to get the tight end open on the seam. Yeah. On the over route, it's going to create more space for the running backs and beat people coming out of the backfield. Bro, I was very unselfish.
So you knew that?
Yes.
I thought your football IQ was kind of low, but since you're telling me now, okay, I believe you. I didn't know that.
I'm about to put you in the same category as Joe Horgan. No, I'm just saying.
That's
disrespectful.
I'm just saying. No, I know you know football, but football IQ
he's your boy
and
on
football
the low,
is two different stories. I don't know.
Joe Horgan,
I got to make sure.
Joe Horgan, that's your boy on the low, huh?
I heard the guy.
Y'all got the same kind of forehead. Now I'm seeing now I kind of see what it is.
That's your man's though.
No, that's your man.
No, I can't do it. Don't
but I ain't gonna take that compliment, that little slight dig as what it is.
Because
I had one of the greatest to tell me, and it's on record that I had one of the best football minds.
Who said that?
Bill Walsh. Yeah, Okay. He said that about me, and that's
what
probably
year?
one of the best compliments I could have ever received. Yes, yeah.
What year were you when he said that to you? Fourth, fifth year?
It had to be somewhere around in there. Okay. Yeah. And I would say like after my third or fourth year, that's when I started to realize, I'm like, man, I could be really awesome.
What was the moment that you like, okay, I'm better than everybody else? Like this is like it's starting to be easy. I know I can catch the ball and I can take it to the house anytime I want. What was that moment?
I would say probably maybe my fifth or sixth year. Like that was when I felt like I was a game changer.
Right.
I'm glad you asked that question. I'm really glad you asked that question because I remember.
I know everybody remembers the moment.
I'm really special, bro. Because I was thinking a lot of things.
All that. Answer the question, man.
No, I was thinking a lot of things before things really actually happened. It's just like me in the celebration, how it's been.
Thinking it or seeing it?
Same thing.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. Go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Yeah, what do
I'll
you mean?
explain the other one. Go ahead.
Because your thoughts can become reality.
Believe it.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
So yeah, so like even with my celebration, like now how it's being celebrated, like nobody could really see that at that point in time. Like I had players that was in the booth and they were criticizing. Then you had the old school guys.
I hated.
They didn't really understand who I was and what I was doing. Like I was well ahead of my time.
You weren't that far. I was doing the same thing in my mind. It starts in your mind, Claude.
But it never came to fruition. So
it did, but it was here though.
So what does
I had
that
the
say?
same celebration. I was doing all the pom-poms. I did all that in my mind. I just didn't do it on the field, man. I didn't do it on the field. Dang it. But I'm over it though. No, but go back to you.
No, you made me lose my thought, dog. I mean, dog, for real, dog. You just made me, man. Bro. You totally just threw me way off that I just forgot what the hell I was about to say. Dog, you say the most ridiculous stuff.
I'm just saying, but it's the truth. When you were a rookie, you thought the same way, right? Because you know. Okay.
Now I can't. Now I got my thought.
Okay, go ahead.
So what I was about to say before I was
rudely interrupted.
Ridiculously.
Right. Absolutely.
Stupidiculously interrupted. So you think about how guys, the numbers have been inflated, I'll say within the last 5 to 10 years, how guys are flirting with like 1,800 yards, 2,000. Nobody hasn't done it since
140 catches every year, right?
But it wasn't the catches, it was just the yards for me.
Okay.
So when Calvin got to 2,000 yards, I remember when I was probably like year 7 or maybe 7 or 8 when I was in Frisco, yeah. And I think the most yards I think I had, that was like 1,451. So I'm thinking about the games. I'm like, yo, I'm not that far off from 2,000 yards.
Right.
So I'm like, man, if I do this, if I get a certain amount of catches, this, that, and the other, I'm like, I can get 2,000 yards.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like that would be a feat in itself. So you think about now, to the pass happy and friendly era that we are in now. Just look at the stats and how guys are getting like 1,500 yards is like 1,000 yards.
Yeah, absolutely.
And which was kind of hard to get almost at some point.
Impossible at that point.
Yeah, when we played, it was like you get 1,000 yards.
Threw the ball 30 times a game. They throw the ball literally 50, 60 times a game. So.
Exactly. So I'm thinking, man, I was already ahead of my time because I'm like, man, if I get this amount of catches in this game, and then I start looking at teams, and you already know like what team has good defense or DBs or whatever. So then I started breaking down, like I broke down some of the games where I was like the first half, I would go off like X amount of catches. I have like maybe 120, 30, 40, 50 yards at the half.
Right.
And then I might get 2 catches, maybe 30 yards, 40 yards the second half, and that's it.
Right. Then you end up at 160 when you're thinking you should have had over 200.
Right. I could have like 250. Like I could have had like a consecutive games of 250 plus.
Right. But you didn't.
Right.
Okay. So let me ask.
So again, I had hater coaches.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Right. Do you believe in this statement? The defense dictates where the ball goes.
Okay.
Right? Because if they play it a certain way,
let me ask you
we
this.
can't throw it to the X receiver.
Let me ask you a counter.
You didn't answer it. You can't ask a question with a question.
I can. I'm about to.
It's not time. It's against the rules.
Okay, let me ask you.
Ask a question with a question?
Yeah. No, not typically. No, because I'll say that. Yeah, because I don't
Okay.
like doing that either. So yes.
Okay. Go.
Yes.
So now you ask yours.
So can a player with a dynamic skill set dictate, regardless of coverage, where the ball goes?
The answer is yes, but
okay. And I feel like I fit in that criteria of dynamic players that dictate where the ball can go.
Just not every time.
No, I'm not saying every time.
Right. So out of those 2 catches you would get in the second half, right? Mm-hmm. The quarterback probably could have threw it to you 6 times, but he chose to throw it twice, and he chose to go somewhere else with the ball 4 times. Doesn't mean that the coaches were hating or the quarterback was hating, but you're still saying, I would have liked to have the opportunity to get those other 4 to make my 6, because if I had those 6 in the second half, I would end up with 220.
Well, yeah, but not necessarily. I'm not going to say that to say I was padding my stats per se.
Of course. No, you
but
just
there
want
were,
the ball.
Right. And there were situations where I felt like there were games that we lost where I only had 2 catches and we didn't win. Versus of those 4 that you say that I didn't receive, had I had an opportunity to catch 2 of the 4, we may have an opportunity to win the football game.
Okay, let me
so when you talk about some of the greatest that ever played the game, you're talking about Kobe, me,
Do
Kobe,
not put yourself
MJ.
in that category.
What are you talking about, LeBron?
Stop. You're in my category. You're not in the top 100. Neither am I. We're in the same category right now.
Hatch, come on,
so
bro.
Look, no.
First of all, stop, bro.
Hey, no, for real.
People gonna be looking at this show and they're like, there's no credit. They're gonna look at that's like the top 100, the people that voted. They're like, there's no credibility to this show.
I should have been on the top 100. I can sit there with a straight face.
What? Hatch, you won't even make the next 100. Or the next 2 after that.
That hurts. That hurts. I'm not on any list, huh? I'm not on any list. That's sad. I want to be on a list.
Top forehead? Yeah. You get on the top 5 foreheads. Yes.
Oh, I want to be on a list.
Top 5 heads.
That's all right. Hey, that's all right. That's cool. Hey,
but I can laugh about it now. But all seriousness though, this is being snubbed from this. It sheds light and put things in perspective. Because like I said, I have a daughter who's 14. She goes to Culver City High School. She just got all CIF, whatever.
Kylie, beast. Sophomore volleyball player.
Yeah, she was brought up as a freshman last year to play on varsity, which was very admirable. Now she's a sophomore. There's a list of probably like maybe 15 or 20. I showed you the list. Yep. Of all those are upperclassmen, 11th and 12th graders. She's the only 10th grader. Yep. So they had a banquet. And let me preface this for everybody. This was prior to me being snubbed to the 100 all team, whatever the case may be. And so there was a banquet held somewhere. And so her coach with this award didn't acknowledge her for this award, which is a big accomplishment. Kylie didn't say anything. Her mom called me. She didn't say anything. But when she got in the car, she broke down. And her mom asked why was she upset. And so because, she got nominated out of the region, the conference, whatever, one of the top volleyball players, and she didn't get acknowledged. And one or 2 of her other teammates got acknowledged for whatever the award was. So she called me and was upset about it. And so I then had to have a conversation with my daughter about it. And I told her at some point, there are going to be people that disrespect you or don't acknowledge you for whatever case may be, but don't allow that to discourage you from being who you are or what you're going to be and what you're doing from this point forward. And I said, at some point, you're going to have a voice to basically express your displeasure or whatever, but until you're of age, let me and your mom handle that. So our mom basically sent an email, copied me on it to the superintendent, principal, this and that, and the coach that didn't acknowledge my daughter for her accomplishment, which, like I said, I think they should be acknowledged for. This is not an award where, everybody gets an award or whatever the case may be.
High school sports, varsity sports.
So fast forward, like I said, 3 weeks after that, look what happens.
You get snubbed.
I get snubbed. But in that conversation, I told her, she knows who I am and what I've accomplished to this point. She's gone to my Hall of Fame induction, both of them, 3 of them, whatever the case may be. So she understands who her daddy is and what I've done. And so with that, I told her, look, I've been, criticized for whatever the case may be. I haven't been properly recognized for, and at the right times for my accomplishment, but that didn't deter me from being who I am and what I've accomplished. Those stats or whatever's they're not going to go anywhere. Like I said, you can't put a finger on why somebody do what they do. Right. But whatever the case, it is what it is. And so you fast forward, and then the top 100, the top, 10 receivers. So I started sending her, I was on a group text with her and her mom, and I started sending her how people were in support of me for what I didn't, get acknowledged for. And so I basically was sending that to her to let her know, yo, you're not the only one. Right. This is what we just talked about.
This is a family affair.
Pretty much. And yo, don't let this discourage you from who you are.
She's young enough to,
exactly.
You're going to use this to propel you in your life.
Exactly. And so, she understood that, and so, like I said, but I understand, especially as a female, female is a little bit more emotional and probably more invested,
Yeah, you're an emotional like a female. I get it. Yeah,
that too. I mean, I have worn my, on my sleeve, my emotions on my sleeve. So, apple don't fall too far from the tree. But women are a little bit more emotional than men anyway.
Absolutely.
But my point is to say is that like I basically explained to her like, yo, we're in support of her and what she's done, and don't allow anybody to discourage or deter her from, you know, her
the big goals
that she's trying to accomplish. You know what I mean?
Just keep pushing away. Yeah, use it as fuel.
Yep. Keep pushing forward. And like I said, I told her like, yeah, let us handle that situation. I mean, there are gonna be times like, yes, she can voice her opinion, this and that and the other. But for whatever reason, like I said, it's unfortunate that there are people like that in the but it's unfortunate there are people out there in the world, and you can't put a finger on why they do what they do.
Haters go.
But to acknowledge somebody else and then not acknowledge, you know, my daughter, like I said, it's like, was it intentional?
Maybe they talked to Joe.
Oh God,
hey,
Joe got ties everywhere, huh?
Hey, he might.
I know, I need to talk to your boy.
He might.
But at the end of the day, like I said, I told her like I'm proud of who she is, what she's done thus far, and like I said, her peers, they recognize that as well. But again, when you're in a situation like that, especially when other people are getting awards and you know that you've made strides, and even just as a sophomore to be considered in the class of these upperclassmen and doing great things, then you want to be recognized and acknowledged at the same time. So
let me ask you this: speaking of peers, right? You think if the players, right, every player, let's say there's 20,
I think some of the players that was the top 5 or whatever that was on that list, I think they should have said something. Like if it were me, and I know that Randy got excluded, I'm making a point. I'm saying something.
I don't know if you would do that.
Yeah, I would, because that's just me. I'm a real one. I'm like, yo, this list doesn't make sense to me.
Okay.
That's just me.
Okay, well,
that's me.
Your ex-teammate, Steve Young, was not on the list.
Right. He should have been on.
Did you say something about that?
Yeah. Okay. I said it on my platform. Okay. Because I said something like, dude, I said, of the 2 relevant players that I feel like should have been on that top 10 quarterback list is Drew Brees and Steve Young.
Yeah, I definitely think Young should have been.
Like, come on, really? Are you serious? And they was like, oh, well, who are you going to take off? And before I thought about it, I just tweeted 2 names. One I kind of take back. I put Manning and Elway. I'm sorry, people. Yeah, he belongs. But Elway, no way.
There's no Elway.
Elway, no, bro.
Do you know how much talent Elway had?
Like I said, put the tape side by side, and you put Elway.
You didn't watch football.
And you must not have watched Steve Young either.
Do you know? Okay, let me ask you this.
I'm talking about Steve Young that played at Tampa Bay.
Do you know who was the better
USFL?
Athlete? Elway was the better athlete. He was a 4 or 5 guy coming out.
I don't care.
He was a better athlete. He had a. I'm not sure.
Hold on. He may be a better athlete.
Should have been on the list. Okay. I agree, but
who are you taking off the list then?
I don't even know all the quarterbacks on the list.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like, bro, there's no credibility to this list, bro. But for me, it means something because this is what's going down in history, bro.
Well, you know what? It's not going down. Well,
yes, it is.
It's going down in their history.
But what do you think people are going?
Own list that'll go down in
I
history.
get that. But what are people going to adhere to? What are people going to gravitate to and towards? They're going to go towards that list.
With players. Let the
our
players
list
vote.
Doesn't really matter. It's not going to hold anything.
If you got 22 or 28,000, whatever the players that have ever played in the NFL, and we could somehow send out a mass email and get everybody's vote back, that list would matter. Because that's everybody who played the game.
Well, true. Yeah.
I think that's more doable than we probably think. Because like I said, they have list of everybody who played. But if we had that list, I would go off of that list. I can't go off of some writer's list.
Right, but that's what's relevant because I mean it was a big deal. I mean they had a whole show behind this, like
they had a show
weekly
behind
show,
it.
like every day.
Social media was
right, exactly.
So speaking of social media,
exactly,
right.
See how I
bring
did
it
that?
to our social media segment, social status segment.
Which you have none. You need a social tutorial. You need a social media
tutorial.
tutorial.
I need help, y'all. I need help with my Instagram, y'all. I'm just learning how to get Instagram.
Who's the best social media influencer out there that can tutor this man? Teach this man how to use his IG, his stories, swipe up.
What are you doing? You slide in the Not DM. Is it DM? No, it's instant message.
No, it's DM, bro.
Somebody please DM your
See,
boy. Help
the
me
guy
out on my
needs
Instagram.
help.
I just learned how to get on it. I don't have a picture up yet. I'm gonna put one up today. I have pictures in my phone, but I don't know how to take it from my phone and put it on Instagram. And I don't to retweet and regram and me space it and my space it. I'm just not.
Bro, these people.
I need help. Help
bro,
me out. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Anybody born in the 90s, bro, don't even know nothing about no MySpace, bro.
And born in the 90s? Really?
No.
I don't know about these kids nowadays.
No.
These kids don't. They can't do. You know what I saw the other day on
bro,
social
these kids,
media?
Bro, these kids don't even know nothing about rotary phones,
did I
bro.
send you that? That's what I was about to talk about. They gave kids.
No,
I think it was 3
you didn't
minutes.
tell me that, but I'm
They
just
put
like I
a
said, I'm
rotary
ahead of my
phone-
time. See,
Yeah.
I read your mind. See, you see how I'm ahead of my time. I read your mind. I didn't even know what you was gonna say, but you just said it. How did
But
you
I'm
know?
about to give you the.
I know,
analogy,
but I
too.
read your mind. I'm
But
ahead of my
that's not a thing.
But
It's
I'm
not a thing.
it
You got
is.
lucky. You just
What?
what?
What are you talking about? I got lucky.
What? Shut
Dog, I'm
up.
ahead of my time,
Listen,
dog.
so
It just
they gave these two
it's just-
kids
you just
a
basically
rotary phone. They gave them 3
a
minutes.
notary phone or a rotary?
Rotary phone.
Oh, I didn't hear
right,
you.
rotary with the aura. So, and they put a phone number down right here, and they just said go, and they did not know how to make the call. They picked it up, they put it down, they looked at it, they did the thing, and they couldn't make the call. It was, and they were like 18, 19-year-olds. They weren't like no 8-year-old, like 18, 19-year-old college kids. They could not make the call. It was the funniest thing I've seen. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, we're lost. These kids are in trouble.
But you know what's so funny? Back in the day, we didn't have to dial all the digits.
You didn't have to dial the area code.
Right, you didn't have to dial the area
It was
code.
576.
Right, yeah. So I remember
yeah.
I still remember my phone number when I was a little
Me too,
kid.
yeah.
I know my grandmama's number and
Now I don't know nobody's phone number. So do you remember anybody's phone number now? I can't remember because you push in a name. You look at the name, you say beep, and it calls.
Yeah.
But I don't remember.
Like if there was an
phone
emergency and I need to call somebody, I know. Yeah, I know my boy's number 818. Ain't gonna say his name,
Really?
but yeah.
Who's phone
That's my
number
boy Shaw.
That Shaw. I'll let your boy.
Yeah, and
Really?
I know my girl Heather's number.
Really?
Yeah. Just
I
in
don't know
case, bro. If
anybody's
there's an
number.
emergency, bro, I gotta call him.
I'm like, if it was my I don't know my mom's number by heart.
Dude, that's whack, dude. That is whack.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That is whack. That is real whack, dog. That you don't know.
Okay. So going back to the social status segment, right? Of the people who were writing to you or about you or for you regarding this top 100. What did you see or that kind of like made you, realize it was real, pissed you off, made you mad, whatever that thing was, right? Because it becomes real once it hits that social media segment. Because you're internally.
You asking me a question?
Yes, I'm asking you a question.
Can you ask me again? Because I'm trying to remember your phone number right now.
Okay, the thing is, I'm great with numbers. I'm just not good with phone numbers.
Yeah, I know your football numbers weren't that great.
We'll be right back, people. You know what? Hey, that's okay. That's all right. They was good. They was good enough.
Yeah, you're right. You got paid though, yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
I didn't drop as many balls as you dropped though. I had great hands. Compared to you, let me rephrase that. Compared to you, I had great hands. I had okay hands. Well, compared to you, my hands was, yeah. If you had mine, you cut yours off. Absolutely. You know what? If you had mine, you'd be on the top 100.
No, that's crazy.
Absolutely.
Hatch, you got hands like feet.
What?
You got hands like feet.
I got great hands, man.
I don't know anybody. Catch with your feet. You'd be better off catching with them things.
I got great hands. What you talking about? What you talking about?
So go back to your social media, social status.
So look, we'll go back to the social media,
whatever
social status segment. Right?
Social status
segment where we like to kind of get the guests to talk about what they've seen or heard about themselves on social media.
That made them react to it.
Made them react.
In a good or a bad way.
Either way.
Oh, yeah, but I'm early on when Twitter had first jumped off, that's when Ashton Kutcher and everybody was on that. I think he kind of started that whole Twitter thing, right? He was one of the first ones that got on Twitter and like had like a great mass following.
Really?
Yeah, that's from I remember. I don't know. Maybe you guys don't.
I don't know who is.
Well, I know you don't. You don't even know how to use Instagram right now, so I know you don't know.
But Instagram and Twitter are two totally different things.
They're both social media platforms. They're utilizing a similar way.
But so is MySpace, and they're not using that no more.
What?
That was. You know what? That was probably.
You wouldn't even make my top 5 on MySpace, buddy. How about that?
I don't want to be in a raggedy top 5, B.
Y'all, you remember the top 5, top 10 friends, and then like if you.
I didn't do that.
Did you have? How about this?
How about I had a real life? I didn't do that.
Right, but you just mentioned MySpace. So you got to have your top 5 or 10 friends.
I never had it. I never had MySpace.
You didn't have any friends?
I never had MySpace.
So why are you talking about something that you never had?
Because I never had it.
It's just like a bunch of girlfriends. You talk about you never had them. You just be splurting numbers, people's girls' names out.
What are you talking about? This is the social media, social segment, social status segment. That's it. What?
I'm just saying, dog. But yeah, I get it. Like, yeah, they're like, so what I was alluding to. So, yeah, early on, like, it used to bug me. Because you really want to go after a dude like that's talking mess. Right. And then I'm like, then I had to start. No, not anymore. Like, I don't.
What's the craziest thing you said?
What's the craziest thing? I don't know. Let me finish my thought.
No, I want to hear this one first. What's the craziest thing you said back to somebody who was on your nerves regarding social media?
Oh.
Because I've seen a couple and I was like, T, you
I hope your mama swallow a bowling ball and die.
You said that?
Yeah.
Did you delete it after?
No.
You can't say that to people.
Why not?
So yeah, in particular, the one tweet, I won't say his name.
You got my response on there? Is this my tweet per se? And I got is my response on there?
The tweet from them was, you were, even as a Bills fan, I remember you being totally negative. Negative Nancy. Totally negative Nancy. Right? When we came here saying he's a cancer, what a horrible man. Like, how does that make you feel?
That's what they said?
That's what they said about you.
Or they heard about me?
That's what they said about you, what they said they heard about you. Because they don't know.
Oh, well, yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's what the media, pretty much how they portrayed me before I even got to Buffalo. So it's just like now, like there's a perception of me based on my 15 years of playing and what the media, how the media has portrayed me based on hearsay. And none of it's like really factual. It's just like my gripes against all the things, the criticisms and things that were said about me prior to the Hall of Fame. Like I was a bad teammate, this and that and the other. I'm like, yo, well, who said I was a bad teammate? What characterizes me as a bad teammate? Did you hear this? This is all hearsay. There's no facts behind it to support it. So again, I'm sure that person may have run into me and like, no, he was nothing but nice. Right. But they're going to have those perceptions based on information that they've either read or they've been given or heard or whatever the case may be. I can only be me. That's what allowed me to still go through some of the things with every organization or some point during the season and still go out and play and ball out. There's no
emotional connect to no fans.
Right, and I didn't fall out. Like my statistics, like my play didn't falter or hinder because of whatever was going around or being said about me. Because if I did falter in my play and then they were going to heavily criticize me because of something that had been going on during the course of the week, guess what it was going to do? It was going to validate what they were saying all week. Oh, well, yeah, he is a cancer. He is a distraction. Right. He's not producing for the team. It's causing a problem. That, right. But the thing is, I always went on that field to use it. I didn't necessarily use it as fuel, but I just didn't allow it to manifest for it to kind of really, mess up my game.
Keep the energy positive.
Yeah.
In your mental, your own mental. Okay.
Absolutely. Because I had a reputation to uphold, and then once I said get your popcorn ready, I couldn't disappoint, bro.
Anybody else who has a better name for this show, please tell me.
No, it's just like
I don't want to hear him say get your popcorn ready, because he came up with it and I didn't come up with it, so I feel some type of way about it. So I need y'all to.
Give us we gave you an opportunity to come up with something. You just, of course, creatively. Big as that forehead and that dome, his ain't shit up there. Ain't nothing in there.
Create. I was stuck.
Yeah.
It was just spinning.
Man, you just stuck, y'all.
Yeah, it's all good.
But I like I said, bro, it's just like when you anticipate something Like, what's your favorite movie? Or one of the favorite movies?
Blow. One of my favorite movies of all time, Blow.
Okay, are there any movies, or how about any your favorite actors?
Will Smith.
So when he has movies getting ready to come out, are you anticipating like watching that movie as a good movie?
Yeah, it's gonna be a good movie. Bad Boys comes out. Yeah, that's gonna be.
So
can't wait.
you're already saying like, yeah.
Yeah, we got. So
that's how I was. Like I'm like must see TV. Like it was one of those things. Like get your popcorn ready. I cannot disappoint, bro. That's just how it is.
It's your man.
So that's why I couldn't really.
Your man.
So that's why I couldn't listen to the Sean Salisbury and the Mark Sclares and all these guys that are so-called got their anonymous sources talking about, oh, well, how is he in the locker room? Or they're talking to a coach here or a player here. They're not a full representation of the full, how many?
53
man roster.
Right.
But to the masses, once you say that, that's what they feel. Mm-hmm. And that's how the audience feels like the whole locker room or the team feels about me based on what they're saying.
Well, we need some of you, some of your old teammates. So some of T.O.'s old teammates out there, hit us up so you guys can come on the show so we can talk about how bad of a guy he was in the locker room. I mean, sorry, how good of a guy he was in the locker room. Sorry about that.
I mean, I was bad on the field, you know what I mean? But not, you know what I mean, character bad.
So let's wrap and get your popcorn ready right here with Hatch and T.O., baby.
Get your popcorn ready.
Subscribe on the Himalaya app or wherever you get your podcast.
That's right.